Welcome to Ibarmia. Today we're going to show you what we call the most flexible machine in the market. I'm sure that you will agree that flexibility and adaptability are key in today's market. We can see that the work is constantly changing. See production being moved from one side of the world to another one, and what we need is machines that can adapt to constantly changing production requirements. Because if you have a very specific machine for a very specific job, what happens is that once that job goes away, you're left with that machine, and you will need to look for other jobs that are very similar to the one you have. What we can do now is that if jobs are changing, machines should be able to follow those changes and transform into the machine tool you need just when you need it. So here we have a solution for that problem. This machine can follow the changes of the constantly changing production requirements. First of all, don't be scared by its size. This machine is 6 meters long. We can make them from 1.6 meters all the way up to 12 meters long. Okay, let's see what we have on the left side of this machine. First of all, we have here a 24-inch chuck that can swing parts of almost 1 meter diameter with a length all the way up to 6 meters. You can hold parts that are up to 3,000 kilos with a tailstock and turn them at 1,800 RPM. With this chuck here and the support and this big B-axis head that contains a capital C8 milling spindle with a power of 75 kilowatts and a speed of 12,000 RPM, you'll be able to turn and mill horizontal parts. What you will have here is the equivalent of a multitasking horizontal lathe. Apart from that, and to add more capability to this machine, on top of this chuck, we have a storage area for long boring bars. This spindle is able to pick them up and make internal diameter turning operations on these parts. Let's see a change. Okay, let's think that you're done with that part of the machine. You've finished the parts that you were supposed to do there. Then you can see we have this dividing wall. This is actually removable. It takes 5 minutes to take away, so you can use the whole working area. But let's assume that you've finished with that side and you come to this area. Let's see what we have here. We have a vertical chuck. It has a diameter of 1,200 millimeters, and you can swing parts of a diameter of 1.5 meters, and then you have a height of 1.3 meters. On this chuck, you can hold parts that have a weight of 3,000 kilos, and you can turn them at 500 RPM. So this chuck here, combined with the B-axis head containing that capital C8 milling spindle, allows you doing vertical turning operations in this area of the machine. So far we have a horizontal multitasking lathe on that side of high capacity. We've described the vertical turning capacity of the machine combined with the B-axis head with the capital C8 milling spindle. You could also do 5-axis operations with this machine of parts up to 6,000 kilos weight. We're talking big capacity here. So you have the vertical turning lathe, the 5-axis machine. You could also put a tombstone fixture here with various faces where you can clamp various parts. You can put that B-axis head at 90 degrees and you could use it as a horizontal machining center with the advantage that you can actually tilt that head so you can work on compound angles at the same time. We've seen that side, we've seen this side. And we can see the dividing wall here, which means you can load parts here, close this door, and leave the machine running here, so you can prepare the next job here safely, away from chips and coolant that are generated on that side. So you can load and unload parts here. It would be the same as having a palletized machine with two completely different working areas. That would increase your production. You would be able to ship two types of jobs at the same time. And then another capacity of the machine is you can remove this wall and use the T-slots on the fixed table. You can use the machine as a normal traveling column machining center, where you can be machining different parts with the advantage that you have a B-axis head, so you can work on different phases in one clamping. Remember, you have a very powerful milling spindle there. It's a Capto C8 milling spindle. It goes up to 12,000 RPM. So you have the speed to work on light materials with small tools, but also has high torque. So it will allow you working on exotic materials like Inconel, Super Duplex, using big tools and being able to take deep cuts on those hard materials. So what we have here, it's a very flexible machine. In fact, we consider it the most flexible machine in the market that will be able to adapt to any type of jobs you may have. So, advantages of this machine. Companies that have this type of machines are able to adapt, are able to follow the changes of the production of the industry. And their main advantage, the one that they always like about this machine, is that they always have parts that they can throw at it. It may be for the left side, for that chuck, that horizontal chuck, parts that need to be turned and milled. It might be parts that need to be turned vertically in a vertical turning lathe, 5-axis jobs, parts that they will usually put on a horizontal machining center. This machine is always cutting chips, is always making money for those companies. And that's what they're about. You know, machines should always be running and not standing still, waiting for you to find another job for them. So have a look at this spectacular image. What we have here, it's a part, a classic part for a lathe, a horizontal lathe. It's already prepared for the job. And what we have here, it's a huge compressor. It's about 3,000 kilos heavy. And the machine is ready to do the turning operations and then all the milling and drilling operations on different phases. So with this machine, you could be producing that type of parts, and while you're unloading and loading the next part, you can also be doing the turning operations on these parts. Incredible.